You're gonna love this podcast. I'm done. Sounds like there's going to be more. Welcome, everybody, to You're Gonna Love This. Oh, the noises you're hearing right now. Ooh.
Check. 1, 2.
There we go. Those were the noises of me this time moving my microphone around. New addition to the podcast. Previously, it had been the guest job. The gentleman you hear is my guest this week. Also, welcome to You're Gonna Love This, the podcast where every week I try to write the perfect song for my guest. I've said guest a lot of times now without saying his name.
It's a secret. Email in who you think I am.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I mean, will reveal myself at the end of the episode.
It's true. He'll reveal himself at the end of the episode through plugs. I'm also going to spoil it.
We should spoil it.
Yeah, let's spoil the... sorry, guys, if you were wondering what happens at the end of the episode.
Yeah. Skip to the end, and then when I say my name... Then you can listen to the whole episode.
Right.
Again.
Like, if you're one of those people who always opens up to the last page of a book, I don't know. I've never thought about those people as equivalents of podcasts, because usually the end is the, I'm not listening to this anymore section of a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Most people tune out right before plugs. I doubt anyone listens to the end of plugs. So.
Yeah. Julian Vargas is here.
Oh, hello. Just to steal a phrase.
Yeah, you stole it right out from under those Kroll boys.
Yeah, those Kroll boys.
Nick Kroll and John Mulaney.
Yeah,
the Kroll boys.
I'm sure John Mulaney loves being called a Kroll boy.
It's
but
better than being called. Not better than being called Mulaney, but there's no the TV show associations with the name Kroll are good.
That's true.
And the TV show associations with Mulaney.
Yeah. He could have been Stefan Bro.
Yeah. What was there was some old guy who was on Mulaney. I remember the older actor. Elliot Gould? Yeah, that's right.
The cast was so good for that show, and it was not his best work. I'll say that, to put it gently. Not his best work. But Adam, thank you again for allowing me into your house. This is for people who don't know, I on the side I host a podcast called Talking Raps with Julian Vargas, and I had Adam on recently.
That's right.
To watch. I came over here and we watched the movie, the Method Man Redman feature, How High. A movie that we found in retrospect to be very creepy and gross.
Yeah, definitely. It's a wonderful movie that is also filled with horrifying criminal activity.
Yeah, it really highlights that early 2000s misogyny. Yeah, it's real bad. But peep that episode. That's coming out. I don't know when this is coming out, but this is coming out. That episode's coming out next week from now, which
exciting.
Makes no sense in time or space when this drops.
For listeners at home, if you're listening to this the day it came out, you will have been listening to it. I was trying to think of a way to say it with negative numbers, but that doesn't make sense. A day. We're recording on Wednesday. It comes out Thursday, so it's perfect. A day later. So
you've got 4 days to wait. And then on Monday, that episode of me and Adam counting the amount of felonies Method Man commits, that episode of my podcast drops on Monday.
Yeah, it's exciting. You got plenty of time to go and watch the movie yourself.
That's true.
I recommend it to anybody.
And we, I'd say midway through, we started a felony count.
Yeah.
We should have started right away. So if you are going to watch it, do that felony count and then, find a way to contact me or Adam and tell us how close we were to the actual count.
I need that info.
Yeah, we need that info before we can get it to a lawyer.
It wasn't on Wikipedia. They didn't have that.
They scrubbed that from the records, Donald Trump style.
Oh man,
it's an allegory. That movie.
Let's. First, I've got a couple little segmenty things that I need to get to.
Let's do it.
The first one, Julian, are you curious how many guests have given me a perfect song so far in the podcast?
That's the first question that came to my mind when I walked in here.
Great. I'm glad you were able to hold it in. Mm-hmm. I didn't see it on your face.
Yeah, I was like, well, I would ask him this, but I'm all about creating content, so I gotta say it over the airwaves. That's gotta save it. I'm a pro. I gotta save it.
A lot of high school kids now, they're writing I'm all about the content.
Yeah, all about that content.
I'm all about creating content. That's their yearbook.
Listen, if I could leave anything behind in this world, I want that kids are really into making content.
Yeah. if we can as a generation, do anything to affect the world.
It's content creation.
Just make that content, guys.
Make that content, baby.
That's all we're here to do.
It's gonna be on my gravestone.
Oh, God. But in terms of perfect content that I've made so far...
Nice.
This is episode... I just looked on my SoundCloud, and I've accidentally given both of my last two episodes number 25. Which makes this episode 26. That's nice. Actually because one of them should have been 24. And in those 25, I have gotten 6 perfect songs.
Ooh.
So I'm still over that Mendoza line.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
That's my barrier.
Yeah.
If I stay hovering right around there, I'll feel like I'm doing really well.
Definitely.
And honestly, the fact that I've gotten any perfect songs at all is insane to me. I don't understand anybody.
I'm surprised you had only 6 out of 25. I would have expected people to be not like such harsh critics of the song.
Well,
that seems way disproportionate to me. That people are like, "No, that was trash." Man.
You know, and again, it's for me, it's the word perfect. It's literally, I'm asking you, did I just write you a perfect song?
Okay,
you know,
all right.
And not even
you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, okay.
And I put it there on purpose. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to succeed every episode with this podcast.
You want to inflate your ego, but not too much where you're like stacking the rules.
Look, it's like enough ego inflation just to like invite people over to write them songs. Like I'm like, I'm gonna take an hour of your time so you can listen to me do some bullshit on a guitar.
Exactly. So you got to at least give us the chance to tell you it was shitty.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, they don't get that opportunity very often.
Exactly. Usually you don't get to... At least me, I mean, like, I would say I was a like, guitar and rock and roll fan a lot more when I was in high school and college.
Yeah.
And lately, especially because I'm doing, like, 2 rap podcasts now, and, like, I'm starting to, like, know and meet rappers, I'm more into that.
Sure.
It's a lot harder to just openly tell a rapper they suck. Because
the
type of person who's a rapper usually is not that down with being criticized like that. Like,
I mean, because like I think of them, it's similar to like an NBA player where like you can't tell. Like an NBA player knows his own limits, but if you're telling him like, hey, you're a shitty defender, or you can't shoot.
Yeah, that's I feel like that's I don't know. Maybe I'm just because guitar, like technically anybody could play a guitar.
Yeah,
but like. Nobody could there's not that many people who are that good at rapping or who could play in the NBA to be like, you suck.
No, yeah,
it's like, fuck yourself and then punch in the face.
Right. And it's like a more subjective thing, I think, too, rapping, because there's just so much, it's so much about who you are and like.
Yeah, it's a lot hard. Yeah, when someone's being really personal about themselves, it's a lot. It's like to say you suck is pretty mean.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let's go to my next segment. But yeah, so on the Mendoza line, that was that segment. Yeah. That one doesn't have a name. This does have a name.
I'm glad that the Mendoza line's getting a shout out. I don't think there's enough. It's just a big baseball listen podcast. You get a lot of people talking about the Mendoza line.
I do. I have been looking to get an ad on Mike and Mike in the morning.
Oh, that's great.
But they have not called back.
Did you do a Hall of Fame special episode?
Oh God, I got it. I was gonna do just to look back at some of my favorite baseball players throughout the years.
Yeah.
Miguel Cabrera. I'm just thinking of random names in my head.
Jeff Bagwell.
Oh.
He made the Hoff this year.
Oh, did he?
He did.
That's exciting.
After Craig Biggio.
Man.
the objectively worst player on that team made it before him.
I can confidently say that I have not kept up with the Baseball Hall of Fame inductees. Like, that has not been on the top of my mind. I only care about the fact that Edgar Martinez is still not in the Hall of Fame. That was my favorite baseball player growing up.
Yeah, I'm only interested because I'm waiting to see when they put Barry Bonds in. He got like 50%. His vote's going up, so it's going to happen.
It's good.
Shout out to Barry Bonds. Hope you're listening.
Fantastic baseball player. Probably did a couple too many steroids, but would have been an all-star and a Hall of Famer either way.
He started steroids in 98. Pre-98, he was like top 10 player of all time.
Yeah, he was still a Hall of Famer. Yeah. So this segment is called You're Gonna Love This, and which is also the name of the podcast, if you didn't notice.
Wait a second. I hope someone in their car was just like, whoa, what?
I caused an accident,
you caused an accident. Someone's mind exploded.
Man, I haven't thought about that. Maybe every episode that I've had this
you're low-key causing, like, the buildup of traffic in LA right now.
Yeah.
People think it's the protest, but it's just your podcast.
Well, with that, like, heavy subtext to the segment, this is a segment where I talk about music that I've been listening to, hopefully that the guest will enjoy, and listeners at home, if they want to enjoy it, they can as well. And for 3 weeks in a row, I haven't been able to stop listening to Run the Jewels 3, and so I'm just gonna go into specific songs like I did last week, because it's just nothing else is getting in my ears, so I don't really feel the need to fake it and pretend that there's other songs I'm listening to.
That's great.
Oh man, Panther Like a Panther is a really fun song.
It's a really great song.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of that Run the Jewels new mixtape. It's really great.
It's so good.
It's really good.
Yeah. And it's one of those things too that I think, none of their music diminishes with like repeated plays. Like it almost gets better every time you listen to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of layers in the instrumentals and in the
lyrics
delivery.
For sure, yeah.
So, and in this one, I felt like even more so than anywhere else. Like the beats are just like amazing. I love LP so much. I love Killer Mike. And Panther Like a Panther is it's got that insane acapella verse at the start. It was. I don't know if you're like this, but every time I get a new Run the Jewels album, I just put it on repeat until I know all the words. And I started with Panther Like a Panther.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't listen. I love Run the Jewels a lot. I haven't gotten into this one that much because of like time constraints.
Sure.
But this one is definitely by far. I think this is their best work, and like especially with the horribleness in the world right now. Their music is really good for that. Sometimes it like there's like I would say a couple like months ago, my opinion of Run the Jewels would be slightly different. Where I'd be like, all right, I get it, it's really good, but like, all right, stop screaming these obvious ideas at me. But post-election, it's definitely like, all right, keep screaming. Someone needs to scream at somebody.
I'm happy,
and I'm happy at them too.
There's 2 songs on the album. One of them is called "Kill the Masters," and another one is an African word that translates to just kill, I think.
That was my favorite song. I do like that.
Kumbaya is really great.
That one's great.
So that's you're gonna love this. That's that segment, not the podcast. The podcast is still happening. We have gotten about a third of the way through the podcast.
That's tough to have a segment named after the podcast, so it's very confusing.
It is. I've thought about just naming every segment just like differently emphasized. Like, you're gonna love this is
and
another
you're gonna
segment.
love this.
Right. Didn't come up with the segments to go behind the.
Yeah.
They're not even names. Like, I can't say that I came up with another name. I just came up with a slightly different way to pronounce my podcast.
I emphasize a different word every time. It's a completely different project.
I came up with the name once, and then have been like pretending.
Exactly.
All right, but let's get into it. First question I like to ask my guests: what's your emotional state been like over the last little while? You know, whatever time period you want to think about.
Well, I think, like most people, I'd say a little worried with the general state of the country.
Agreed.
I wouldn't say like as surprised as most. I wouldn't say I could see this coming, but I definitely foresaw a place where this kind of horribleness could happen. Yeah. Unfortunately, and that like feeling of like, it did happen. I was like, I'm not the only person I'm sure who felt like that, but like, it was a little disconcerted. But you know, there's that weird feeling of like, as people who do like entertainment and have to kind of like produce stuff all the time, there's like, what the fuck's the point of putting out this dumb rap podcast?
Man, I know.
It's like, should I even promote this show that I'm doing? Because like, what's the point? People are being held hostage by the government in airports, and I'm like, hey, come to this show on Wednesday.
Yeah, like I feel like I don't know if anybody else is keeping. I feel like everybody is keeping track in their heads of a list of like, okay, this person has promoted themselves 5 times since Trump has been in power.
Yes,
and they haven't posted anything. They haven't spoken out about.
Yeah,
and like, part of me is just like, I feel so... Like, I haven't been posting on Facebook about it because, like, I mean, who in my friend group doesn't, agree with me?
I'm not convincing anybody of anything who are friends with me. I think we're all pretty much on the same page with it.
Like, there are some people in my friend circle where I'm like, I wish I had your friend group so I could yell at somebody.
Yeah, right.
But nobody is going to, like, respond to my post and say, like, actually, I think that Trump did the right thing by banning everybody from those 7 countries.
Yeah,
like,
I haven't ran into that wall yet, so I'm lucky enough to have already defriended everyone who would have possibly come at me with those weird opinions. But that I would say unsure is the general state.
Sure, yeah, definitely feeling kind of It was one of those things where like we were standing on the shore watching the wave come in for like months.
Yeah,
and we were like, but it looks like I think it's gonna break before it hits.
It's not gonna hit.
Yeah, and just like watching it slowly roll in, and it's like hit us now, and it's like, what do you do? Like, okay.
Should I swim away? Or should I try to sell all these fish I found?
Right.
Should I help everybody else?
Oh man, yeah. Probably the answer is like we should help the people that have just gotten hit by the wave, and like we're doing okay.
But also come to my show.
Right.
Also come see my stand-up set.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's tough.
Listen to my new unproduced, just barely recorded songs that I wrote and wrote for some other people and put out on podcast. I named them.
I put out.
I did name those. That was one thing.
That's good.
I took the time out, because I don't necessarily, I name the podcasts, the podcast episodes, but I don't necessarily name the songs as they come. So
that's a lot of work.
Yeah, I took all that excess energy that I had from not naming the segment, and I just poured it into the songs.
That was your creative limit. You're like, this is as far as I'll go.
Oh, okay. We're having too good of a conversation. I'm not getting any information out of you.
That's my fault. Sorry.
You're the worst. Good radio. What a horrible
Hashtag good content. That's for the kids out there.
Please, if you're out there, I can't think of anything that would make me happier than if you retweeted this episode with the hashtag good content.
Good content, yeah. Let's get that trend in.
Please get that trending. Put it on anything.
Yeah.
It's all good content, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk music. What going back to those high school, college guitar days, because I have no desire to rap for you. Okay. And I don't think you have any desire to hear me rap.
Fair assessment of me.
Yeah. I don't think anybody wants to hear me rap.
No, there's no one. I don't think kind of like a rapper wants to hear someone else rap to them. That's like the ultimate horror story of a rapper is like someone coming up to you and being like, oh, you're that famous rapper, let me freestyle for you if you can sign me. And it's just like, the amount of times a rapper has to do that probably is insane.
Yeah.
I would hate that.
So that's not happening.
Yeah, let's not do that.
So what were some of the big bands that you were listening to back in that time period?
Let's see, the big bands for me, well, I had an interesting musical foray about that, into rock music. I'd say like when I was 15, I started getting into like 60s and 50s and like just basically 50s through 80s rock and roll. Like that's all I listened to was like, there was a point in time where all I listened to was like T-Rex, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and like the Animals, the Zombies, like really weird, like kind of just like, that starting from that I Want to Hold Your Hand style shit to like where just bands that would like started off like that and then went super crazy like immediately after their first album. Yeah. Like I feel like that was a big thing for like especially British bands. Like they had to do that one album of just like classic, like, oh, I love you, she loves me, like,
you get signed based on that album.
Yeah, and then you're like, all right, well, really, there was just, the one crazy dude on ad, like the Brian Wilson of the group who was like doing everything for them. But then after that, I would say me and my little brother we became like super hipstery and like bands like the Drums. Like I'd say the Drums are still probably my favorite band that still make music right now. I don't know if you know the Drums.
I don't.
They're really great. I would highly recommend them. I think they've got a new album coming out soon, or it just came out. But they got really famous in 2007, 2008 around Obama's inauguration, or Obama being elected. Yeah. Because they have, I'd say it's probably still their most popular song. It's called Let's Go Surfing, and the chorus is oh mama, I want to go surfing, but it sounds like he's saying Obama, I want to go surfing. And it was like, it blew up so big like during like right after Obama won.
Sure.
But I would say I'm really into them. Tame Impala, I was really into. I was into them more when they were a band, and then when I found out it was just the one guy, I was like, I am into that whole like, oh, it's a band, but really there's just one guy who's doing everything for everybody. Because I saw them at Coachella, and I was like, oh, this is a cool, interesting group of guys. Like they're all weird looking Australian dudes. No one's got shoes on. This is pretty cool. And then it was just like the one guy who I was like, he wasn't even like my favorite guy out of like the five. It kind of disappointed me.
But I like that a lot better than like there's like the Bon Iver type of thing where it's like it is a group.
Yeah.
But we're just marketing the one dude. We're just gonna
pretend like it's this one guy.
Because it's like if we pretend the one hot white dude makes all this shit, then it's gonna sell real good.
I would say even I was a little bit of Bon Iver fan. Vampire Weekend was huge, of course. Even the Strokes, even though I was late to the Strokes because I was just young, like, I like the Strokes. I would say definitely of just modern bands, the drums are probably top, and then, like, you know, from my high school days and my freshman year of college, like, the only 2 albums I had on my phone for, like, my first month were Electric Warrior by T-Rex and Ready to Die by Notorious B.I.G. Those are like my 2 albums that I listened to. Like I'm a crazy huge Mark Bolan and T-Rex fan. Like he's the best.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
All over the place. I love very it though. Unspecific.
No, it's good stuff though. I think the thing that
Neil Young.
Neil Young.
And Neil Young.
All right.
I love Neil Young. Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I almost forgot that.
Cool.
And I think Prince goes without saying. You should assume if you should just assume that I like Prince.
I think.
Yeah, I won't even consider like.
What kind of a monster?
What kind of human doesn't like Prince?
Yeah,
you got to be an insane person.
There's like certain like I think Led Zeppelin is a band that is hard. Like everybody at least is aware of and like likes a couple songs of. Yeah. Prince is like Led Zeppelin. Some people think of as a band on the level of Everybody Loves Them.
Yeah,
Prince is like so much more than that.
It's like Prince and Michael Jackson are pretty much like the 2 artists where it's like you can pretty easily can say like you like that person, right? And the person you're asking is going to say yes. Like I can't think of really any other 2 artists where that's going to be true.
No. Okay, so it sounds like you've got a lot of until you said Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Neil Young. Although they both are guys like this too. It's like. Just a lot of energy in this music.
Yeah, I like a lot of energy. Definitely when I got into a huge Neil Young phase a couple of years ago, where I got heavy into Neil Young. Because I was getting it. There was a point in my life where I did a little too much cocaine all the time, and when I stopped, I got into artists who also had cocaine issues to be like, oh, I want to see what these guys are about. And I got into Neil Young because Neil Young has one of the most legendary cocaine addictions of all time. Sure. And I would say when it comes to like acoustic guitar or your less Neil Young is very electric heavy in a lot of his later stuff and even his early stuff. I mean, like his first couple, like The Loner is one of the best like guitar solos in there. That's electric guitar, but that like quieter, softer Neil Young, like just that darker Beach Boys stuff where it's like very emotional and just heavy and dark. That was my jam, I would say, for a good portion of time. At least when I was more depressed.
But trying to kind of communicate to your like unmoored energy right now. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what of those types. I mean, maybe the Animals is kind of a like that old House on the Rising Sun feel is very kind of like ethereal and like you don't really know where you are or what's going on. Yeah,
or even like I mean, I don't know if do you know the band The Zombies? Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a lot of their, especially their second album, which was it was like the Animals in that there was the one guy who was like the genius behind it all. Yeah, and he made that second album, which is they only have the 2 albums, or they technically only have 1 album. They have like 3 singles and then an album, and it's like a very dreamlike atmosphere where it's like, is any of this real? What's happening right now is kind of the vibe that the Zombies always gave me. Even their like, normal Ed Sullivan style love songs, like they feel like weird dreams or like I don't know, like a David Lynchian vibe almost, to where like These are very nice songs with there's something very dark and sad on the underneath of this.
Yeah. All right. That feels like a rich vein I could tap into.
Ooh.
I can't remember as I'm saying that whether that was a turn of phrase I used before on the podcast. So
that should be your slogan, your catchphrase.
Whenever I get it, whenever I'm
that should be
that's
like
a rich
that's
vein
something people should know about. Listeners should be expecting that every episode. Like, when's he gonna drop it? When's he gonna drop it?
Yeah, and then they clap, and then but their hands are off the wheels. So they crash into another car.
We're finding out this podcast is just a way to kill people, for you to kill your listeners.
We thought that How High was the violent,
the amount of
content.
Yeah, you're racking up felonies all over this content.
Oh man,
what's the crime? Too much content.
And hashtag good content too.
Good content.
All right, so like a Lynchian kind of story, like love story maybe, or something of that kind, or how does that feel to you?
Yeah.
Does that sound like it could be perfect?
I think I could get into that.
Okay.
I love David Lynch, and I love weird love songs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I get into that.
That's about. I would say most of my songs are. You could summarize my oeuvre as like weird love songs.
That's your aesthetic.
Yeah.
That's a cool aesthetic. It's
I like
a good
it.
lane.
Yeah.
Good lane.
Well, I've only got one more question for you then.
Okay.
Before I start writing you this song, and the question is also now wondering whether my phone is going to be charged enough for. I think it should be fine. Have you ever heard the song "Cars" by Gary Newman?
Of course.
Okay, good. You're gonna hear it 3 times in a row.
Okay.
It is my timer for how long I have to write the songs. And
what a great.
Yeah, keeps your ears plugged up so you can't hear what I'm writing.
Fantastic.
So
I can't hear what you're writing.
Well, because I'm gonna be singing.
Oh, that's fair. Okay.
I have to. I will have to.
I'm already getting super nitpicky.
I wish I had the ability to just like think up what melodies and like chords I would use and just know that it would work and then just like write it down.
Come on, Beethoven, you got this.
Yeah, unfortunately I'm not like, I think he was deaf, right? Or something? Was it him or Mozart?
That Mozart?
Yeah.
I believe it was Mozart.
I do require my ears to write music.
That's fair.
So I'm going to send you off to the bathroom and we will be right back on You're Gonna Love This.
Boom.
I'll go rhythm, I'll go rhythm, I'll go rhythm, amen. I call to order the 114th meeting of the Council of Watchers, Keepers of the Grey One, Servants of the Almighty Algorithm. Amen. You guys, you all look a little tired this morning. Oh, yeah, we had a bit of a bender last night. You guys all went out without me? Are you kidding me? Oh, no, we didn't do it. We just went out together. Yeah, Todd. And I wasn't. Wait. You went out together and I wasn't there. No, like we just all happened to meet each other at the same bar. It wasn't like a planned thing. Todd, you said when you were leaving Payless, you said, "Oh shoot, I've got to get my laundry."
Oh yeah.
And you ran out of the store.
Yeah, I got my laundry, and then I went home and I put my laundry away, and then I went out. I mean, it's like super easy. Now I can actually go out. I have enough money to go out for the first time.
Yeah, man, he bought so many rounds. It's crazy. Oh, I like this guy. I'm glad you brought him. At first I was apprehensive, but Don, I like you. You're good, man.
I hope you like the bonus. At least I didn't. They just took that out of my bank account. I didn't think that was possible, but they just literally took that money out of my bank account and gave it to you. So big thanks from Payless.
I mean, I guess in a way that you paid for our drinks. Thank you, Ben.
Wow.
Thank you, John.
You're so welcome.
John.
Yeah. Hey, Todd. I was thinking today might be a good day for you to get inducted into some of the ritual scrubbings of algorithm. Man. That's been mostly my duty so far.
Entirely your duty.
Yeah, I kind of his kind of fleshy despair sacs they tend to get some accumulated moss, and so you got to really get in there with some steel wool every couple days and just get that thing cleaned up.
That seems like a very difficult and important task. Do you think Todd's ready for such an important thing?
You know, I think
we should start him off easy.
I think Todd has shown great maturity in his time with us. I think he's ready. What, Benny? What do you think?
Todd is all right in my book, but I think that the scrubbing should continue to be done by you, John.
You do such a good job.
Algorithm.
Oh, man.
Is in turmoil.
Yeah.
You can sense it. There's a lot of death and a lot of violence ahead for humanity, and I think that the work you do keeps it in balance.
Okay.
I can, if he really needs help.
No. This is John's task.
You could take some of my duties off my plate.
You just start the meetings and end the meetings, though.
I also bring snacks every now and then.
Oh, I can bring snacks.
But that's that's not in the charter. You just do that because you're.
You don't want me to bring snacks anymore?
No, of course not. Why are you kidding me?
We can also. Can we not put it in the charter? Is that not a democratically thing that we can do?
We could put it in the charter, sure.
Snacks?
Yeah. Do we want should we pick a roto, or is that your duty? I think it's just your duty. I think that's Shane's duty.
Yeah.
All right. All in favor of Shane being officially in charge of snacks? All in favor? Aye. What, guys? You just told me to do this. What's going on? All opposed? Nay. All abstaining.
Hi.
What the hell, Todd?
I just don't know.
This is your idea.
It was my idea for somebody to bring snacks. I just didn't. I don't know, and people hear as well as I probably should. I don't know who I should trust to bring snacks.
Just make a choice, man. It's fine.
This is just a time-wasting action to add it to the charter. Because snacks, while lovely, they shy away from what we're doing, and what we're doing is important. We're heeding the wrath of algorithm.
Amen.
And to do so, we must do more than bring snacks to the meeting. We must also like the You're Gonna Love This podcast on Facebook and subscribe on iTunes or SoundCloud. And also leave a review, tell a friend, add it to the bookmarks on your webpage, browser. Any way you can to enjoy the podcast, listen to the individual songs. It's a good idea because algorithm is thirsty for blood.
Almost got me away from me, that one.
Thirsty. You guys want me to bring my Coca-Cola or what's a good soda?
I'm not a fan of colas. You can. It'll be fine.
I'm trying to drink less sugar.
Yeah,
maybe some sparkling water.
La Croix is my favorite drink in the whole world. I would love a La Croix.
A what?
You might know it as LaCroix or LaCroix or some other peasant's name.
LaCroix.
That's the one.
I don't know what you're talking about. Sparkling water.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
I have a soda stream.
Oh, you can afford a soda stream? Oh, jeez.
Oh, I bought it off Craigslist.
Oh, so it's used.
Yeah, so it's a used soda stream. I figure it's not
caked on syrup and stuff in there.
Well, no, it's fine. It's in perfectly good condition.
But also, soda's like its own button. You're not gonna get any syrup from that.
Hey, Todd.
Huh?
Have you listened to You're Gonna Love This yet?
Yes.
Did you like it? What'd you think?
I don't know. I thought
I got you, Todd. Meeting adjourned. Algorithm. You can buy me the next one.
Algorithm. Please don't tell me you guys are going out tonight. Please don't tell me you're going out again.
Okay, we won't tell you.
Oh man. Welcome back everybody to You're Gonna Love This. Julian, you just spent some time in the bathroom.
I did.
How was your 3 times listening to Cars by Gary Newman?
It was good. I was looking. I was playing Mario Run, but I was also looking for to see if I pick up on anything I hadn't heard before on the. Because I've probably heard Cars and along with everyone else a million times. I was like, I'm gonna actually see if I could find anything that I didn't hear before. Nope, the same Cars.
Yeah.
Still a great song. But yeah, it's
a good song.
Everyone knows
all of the elements are top notch.
Yeah,
but they're all there's
to the beginning.
But there's 10. There's 10 elements.
Yeah,
and they're all good, but they're all.
We all know them. Yeah, we all know them. We all love them.
So you ready for me to play you my song?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. Let's get this going.
I'm gonna move a desk over slowly so that I have better visibility.
Fair.
I should just at this point get a mic stand, or not a mic stand. What am I talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. A music stand.
There you go.
Yeah, where you put your
music. Where I put the music.
Yeah, you put your sheets.
Yeah.
Your sheet music on.
I don't have that. I also almost broke the microphone for like the third time during this recording. I'm gonna switch the microphone to a different setting so you can't be heard very well. But
let's do it.
Let's go ahead. I might also cut out a lot of that me moving things around bullshit. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what ends up on the official edit.
Blows past my window as I speed on through the night. The scenery's greenery whipping past my side, left and right. I grip the wheel tight with all my might, because I'm gonna see my baby tonight. The buzz of the radio snaps me back, playing some miserable tune. I switch it off, thinking of Sally. She makes me feel like such a loon, and I can't believe I got out of 10 years of prison just this afternoon. The wind blows past my window as I speed on through the night. The scenery's greenery whipping past my side, left and right. I grip the wheel tight with all my might, because I'm gonna see my girl tonight. She wrote me letters that kept me going. I waited for her every word. She saw past my flaws and my arson, manslaughter, and murder. The wind blows past my window as I speed on through the night. The scenery's greenery whipping past my side, left and right. I grip the wheel tight with all my mind. I'm gonna see my baby tonight.
Hey now, that was fucking dope, dude.
Ah,
That was
alright.
great.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna clap for all the people who aren't here. That was great. See, when you set it up as only 6 people have said these are good. You really set me up there to think you were gonna do something like jokey or a bad song, and that was legitimately great.
Well,
man.
thank you.
That was great.
Again, it's not the measure is not whether it's a good song.
Perfect. The bar is perfect.
I'm glad you liked it though.
I really liked it.
All right, I hit that kind of weird Lynchian.
Yeah,
thing.
that was great. I mean, you could probably like if you found a time machine, you could sell that to like Crosby, Stills, or Nash.
All right,
in their heyday. So
not Young though. You don't think Young would buy it?
Young does. He's too good for that. He's like, I don't buy fucking music from plebeians and spit on you and then do some cocaine.
I'm glad I thought. For some reason, I felt that going in like an anti-Semitic direction. I felt Neil Young being like, I won't buy songs from Jews.
Oh my god, that would be nuts if we found out through the use of time machines that Neil Young's an anti-Semite.
But only in terms of like music production.
Yeah, which is the weird part about that racism for him. In every other regard, he loves the Jewish community. But yeah, when it comes to music, he would never let them. Very ignorant. Yeah, it's unfortunate. But I greatly enjoyed it.
Good.
On a scale of, I'm gonna do my own scales here from terrible to perfect. I'm gonna give that a perfect. So in your case, I'm gonna give this a perfect song. That was based on what I was expecting, the fact that I was tortured with 11 minutes of Cars, and the good mood I'm in after winning a rally in Mario Run, I'm gonna have to go perfect. That was great.
Wow.
That looked like I'm assuming we already joked about this about how a lot of this might be conceived as blowing smoke, but I legitimately really enjoyed that tune.
Well, thank you.
And that I also love the the very sort of cliche but also huge indicator that you're listening to a song from the 70s is I just got out of jail for murder. Yeah. It's that's a very 70s acoustic Johnny Cash, I just got out of prison type rock and roll. So I appreciated that touch.
It felt to me like definitely like a combination of Cash plus if I was writing I don't have any in the way that David Lynch doesn't have stories. He just has little moments. I'm just this is just there may be a story behind what I wrote here, but I did not write a story.
And that would be perceived by rock critics as brilliant storytelling. It's the disorientation of the story. It makes it all come together.
And you didn't know at the beginning. It's an unreliable narrator. Can you believe?
Robert Christgau would give this a 5 out of 5. He would love this.
And unreliable narrator in this case just means I started writing it and didn't know what it was about, and then found out halfway through.
Unreliable narrator means you started this 11 minutes ago and you finished it 2 minutes ago.
Right. Unreliable songwriter. That could be the name of this podcast. Maybe that's a better name.
You're gonna have to rebrand it.
Maybe. So do I leave? I would leave this segment though. It's called "You're Gonna Love This." Yeah.
Yeah, that's for the true fans who were like, I remember when that used to be the name of the podcast.
It's like a comedy death ray thing.
A comedy thing. Yeah, you're gonna change it.
I'm gonna at some point realize "You're Gonna Love This" is just holding me back.
You're the
as a
new
name.
comedy death ray is what you're trying to say.
Hey, I got a lot of characters that come on this podcast. They're not quite as out of this world as the ones that are on Comedy Death Ray, but hey, a lot of characters.
It's true.
Last week I had Brian Bakos. Whew, that's a character.
That's a hell of a character.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the quickest reviews that I think I've had on the podcast before.
Okay, I'm glad. Do you want me to go deeper? Because I mean,
if you want to, but
I feel comfortable with what I said. I legitimately think if you found a time machine, one of the three of CSN would be like, I'm into this. Can I buy this off you for... They would probably offer you cocaine to buy it. Because I feel like that's how most songwriters did things in the 60s and 70s. It was like, do you have drugs? I'll take that. You can have this song. I would say the part that I love the most is definitely the out of nowhere, oh, by the way, I was in jail. Because and not even in a bad way, in a good way, that reminds me of just that trope of the 70s of we're all these geeky white guys, but we're going to pretend to be tough, so we're going to mention we just got out of prison a bunch. You guys, you're a bunch of dorks who've never been punched in the face.
This is my version of, what was the... is it Tyga grew up in the upper middle class? I'm trying to remember. There's some rapper. There's that's always the thing with rappers is that's one of the things that you somebody's career can be ruined because they.
I guess that was more of a thing in the 90s.
Yeah.
But I get what you're going for. Yeah.
It's this is my equivalent of
You're the new what's his face Piano Man. Did we talk about this last time?
Did we?
Billy Joel. You're the new Billy Joel.
Oh.
You're just making up new characters and lives for yourself.
Oh, I wish. No, I don't. Oh, man, that would be... I don't want to be Billy Joel.
Hey, man, Billy Joel's
He's very successful.
He's very successful.
Yeah, he just writes all these...
Be respected? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I write story songs, too, and they're also kind of bullshit.
You're Billy Joel.
I guess I'm Billy Joel.
We found
all right.
We found your one-to-one. You're the new Billy Joel.
All right, so the new title of the podcast will be Billy Joel, Unreliable Songwriter.
Welcome to the Billy Joel cast. I'm Billy Joel, and today I'm going to be writing a song.
We've come to the end of the podcast. We've already spoiled it a little bit, but what's your name?
If you skipped it, definitely in the description of this episode, Mark, skip ahead to this point in the podcast to hear the name.
Yeah.
If you guessed any other black UCB comedian other than Julian Vargas. Unfortunately, you're wrong. I'm Julian Vargas.
That's true.
And are we doing plugs right now?
Yeah, we're doing
plugs.
We just.
Okay, I'm Julian Vargas. Go back and listen to the rest of the episode if you skipped ahead. If not,
that's a great plug.
Yeah,
for the episode.
Yeah, listen to this episode again. You can find me on Twitter at I am Julian Vargas. I have my own podcast on 2 podcasts actually. On iTunes and SoundCloud, Talking Raps with Julian Vargas, which Adam will be on the next Monday's episode, and also This Week in Tapes with Ian Carr, where me and Ian Carr listen to the new mixtapes that drop from Thursday to Thursday and then review them. And each episode drops Friday, and I think in 2 weeks we're going to be interviewing the rapper Drug Rich Scarfoot, a plug. So look out for that. That should be interesting. Yeah. Show-wise, if you're in the LA area, I've got a show on Saturday, the 4th of February at 10:30 at the UCB Sunset. It's People of Color of Mod Night. It's a showcase show I'm hosting. It should be great. And just check my Twitter for other shows or the UCB website for Sugar. That's my UCB mod team. We're every last Wednesday, and our possibly last show is the 15th of February, so buy tickets to that.
Yeah.
And other than that, find me on Twitter.
There you go.
Bye.
Plugs for me, you can go find my improv group at facebook.com/dadjokescomedy. Our team is Dad Jokes, if you couldn't figure that out.
I thought it was comedy.
Yeah, and we make dad jokes.
Yeah. That's your new lane.
It's real fun to go see 8 people line up at the front of the stage and just
tell
like
dad jokes.
Yeah, just make bad puns. About things people are wearing.
Yeah. Offensive racial observations.
Yeah, a lot of it is either offensive or racial or both.
Yeah, or sexist.
Yeah.
It's just some sort of offensive. Yeah.
Yeah, we like to say at least half of our audience is offended by everything anybody says.
That's good. It's a good goal.
That's our yeah, Dad Jokes Comedy. You can... Oh, you know what you can do, because I haven't talked about this in a little bit. If you want to have a song written for you, you just heard a song that Julian got written for him. He seemed to enjoy it.
I loved it.
You won't get the full experience because you won't be on my podcast, but if you want to have a song written for you...
Adam will fly you in to L.A.
I would, but I will if you follow these instructions. First, comment on either my SoundCloud or my iTunes. That's one of those things that helps out the algorithm. Just I need to get that content to as many people as possible.
Boost that content, baby.
Exactly. Just trying to boost some content. So if you you comment there, then you email me. This is actually kind of a complicated thing. Email ygltpodcast@gmail.com. That part's simple. That's my YGLT is the initials of the podcast, and then podcast@gmail.com. Using the subject line, Gooftia with my review. That would be spelled goof, Goof, *D, space YA. If you use U, I won't accept it.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
with my
if it's
review.
misspelled, you're not going to accept the email.
Any misspellings, only the G is capitalized. The G and the R are capitalized. And if you don't format it correctly, you will get that email sent back to you asking for a revised subject line. Once you're done with that process, and I verified that you've commented for me, then I'll write you a song. This offer is available for the first 50 people that follow through with this process.
Hey now.
Which means there's still a lot open. There's so far 2 people have followed through on this convoluted bullshit.
That means 48 of you got a chance.
Yeah, I assume that 48 people will listen to this podcast immediately on the first day, despite all statistical evidence telling me that's not going to happen. And so all 48 of you, it's all changing with you, Julian.
You're going to get 70 requests.
Man,
you're going to have to turn people down. That's
holy shit.
Yeah, that's going to suck when you have to start turning people down.
I mean, it would be bad, but I can't even imagine having to write that many songs.
I hope you do, just for you realize like, oh, this was a bad idea.
Man,
I shouldn't have done this.
I hope that it becomes a bad idea too, because that will mean that I will have achieved the success. That means I can just be like, hey, you guys all commented, like, sorry, my podcast is popular now. I'm not going to write you songs.
I signed the ear will fuck you, listeners. Podcast has a new name now.
No, I'm getting on the up and coming network. I'm going over to. I don't know why I want to shit on Boardwalk Audio. That feels weird. That's me. There's a lot of podcast networks out there now. HeadGum also exists.
Oh, that's true. Nerdist.
Yeah, I could get on any of them. They're all clamoring to get me on.
Yeah, you're getting so many emails.
That's like, I'm getting, those are where all the emails. Like, the reason why I'm not getting all these listener emails is my inbox is just clogged up.
It's too full with, requests to join other podcast networks.
Yeah, and they're just.
Get the music.
And what's funny is I can tell they're BCCing each other because they're replying.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like Scott Ackerman will reply to like Jake Hurwitz's email to me, be like, "Hey, we really want YGLT on here," and he'll cut in and be like, "No,
get me on." Then Jeff Ulrich will come on and be like, "No, come back." Then Chris Hardwick. Yeah,
it just turns into this whole bidding war.
Yeah, it's a classic content war. People want that content.
Everybody wants that hashtag good content.
Good content, baby. That's all they want. That's all that people want.
Well, I think we gave it to him today.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you thought this was hashtag good content, repost this podcast,
please,
with the classic hashtag good content.
I would be so happy. I honestly can't think of anything that would make me happier
than good content becoming a thing. Like, or at least for the just for this podcast.
Sure.
I'm glad.
I mean, like, I can think of about 1,000 things outside of my like sphere of influence that like things that I can't achieve that would make me happier.
Yeah.
The world could be a better place in a lot of ways.
Yeah, but for things you have direct influence on, good content.
Hashtag good content,
hashtag
guys.
Good content. Never forget.
Never.